told you I found you a perfect match. Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Hello and welcome to A Perfect Match. I'm Aysha and we are here. We are back. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's been 3 months, but we are back to talk Married at First Sight. This is our 6th season covering Married at First Sight over on Rob Has a Podcast. So I'm very excited to talk about this season. It got started. We had the premiere. We are here to talk about the premiere. Usually we don't get much of a break, but we got a 3-month break. That's like a summer vacation from Married at First Sight. So I'm actually excited. I am actually excited to talk about this. And I am so happy to be here with my amazing co-host, Jason Reed. Jason, how are you?
You know what? I can't do this.
He left. I don't know what I did. I thought I had enough excitement. I was ready to do this thing.
I'm back. I guess I'll go through with it. Oh my gosh, we back. We're here. I can't believe it that we spent so long away from Married at First Sight. We were talking pre-show. We don't even know how to do this right now. we have forgotten how to talk Married at First Sight on a podcast. We've forgotten about the flow, all of it. So bear
Jason
with
was
us.
like, make sure you play the song. I said, the song, you're right.
We have a song. So, I mean, bear with us as we get the rust knocked off, because it's been a minute since we used our voices to talk about Married at First Sight. We've both done, other things besides Married at First Sight, but, we'll never forget our joint venture, Married at First Sight. We've seen other podcasts, we've done other things. We even talked about on podcasts together, but our true jam is always Married at First Sight. I've missed it. It was 3 months. It might as well have been 3 years.
Really?
Because that's really what it felt like. I honestly was thinking the other day, like, I cannot even remember last time I talked about Married at First Sight. I can't even bring myself to that. We had interviewing cast members. That was 2-3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like so far away ago.
I know. And you know what? It feels so weird. I feel like I was a different person then, because if you go back and listen to our coverage of the end of the reunion, we were not excited to be talking about this season.
And Married at First Sight said, you know what? We're gonna make you miss me, okay? We're gonna ghost y'all, and then y'all will be begging for us to come back. And that's exactly what happened.
It honestly feels emotionally manipulative.
It does. We were crapping on the show, like, oh, this is the worst season of the show. It's so boring, no drama. They're like, okay, we hear you. Okay, you're just gonna leave then. You won't. I won't be around for you to kick me around anymore. Fine. We won't tell you when we're coming back. We won't give you any details, any hints about what's to come. They literally dropped, like, the coming attractions at the end of the reunion, and then we're just dead silent. Like, no, I'm not gonna tell you anything.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you when we're coming back. I'm not gonna tell you anything about anything.
Exactly.
And you're gonna miss us. And but listen, to their credit, it worked. Because after a month, I was like, damn, when are y'all coming back? Like,
hey,
we haven't talked in a while. When do you think you're coming back around?
Give us a marriage, something, please.
Just sending you up texts. Like, hey, Rudy, what you doing? You got any information?
That baby got to be 1 point. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we are here to talk about the premiere. Even after talking about season 16 for like 6-7 months, it was very odd to have that time off. But if you're new here, We cover every episode of Married at First Sight. We will be here weekly. Podcasts usually drop on Thursday nights, Friday mornings, give or take. And so that's when you'll be able to hear us wherever you get your podcasts. Just look up the Love at First Sight feed, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star rating review if you enjoy this. Let us know that you are enjoying this content, and we'll be greatly appreciative. We are also on YouTube. We are on the RHAP Has a Podcast YouTube channel, and you can find us if you go over to the tab that says podcast, and then you look at Married at First Sight. We'll be right there. And all of our podcasts will be there for you, for you to watch us. Sometimes we have visual elements. So, it may be most enjoyable for you to watch us on YouTube, even to just listen to the audio version. Listen to us with what works for you. Okay.
Listen to my voice, who at the New York RHAP event, someone said it sounded like I overused my voice, which I didn't think was a compliment, but I think they meant it as a compliment.
It does. I will say, and I think this about my voice, I feel like it sounds different coming through a microphone than face to face. Not like different, but it has a different like depth.
Yeah, the voice in my head sounds way different than the voice I hear if I listen to like a podcast I was on.
Yeah,
or like that. Like the voice I hear is so different than that. Well, speaking of the RHAP New York event, we met in person for the second time ever in our lives. Do you want to give your perspective on how our second meet started?
I was so excited to see you. I just couldn't believe that we were finally seeing each other again after over a year. And I was so excited. And I see Jason from afar and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, I'm so excited. I walk up, I tap him, and I'm just like, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm sorry. Do I need to turn around and do that again? Because what was that?
Okay, so she just gave you her perspective, aka the wrong perspective. Here's my perspective. I mind my own business. I look over to my I don't recall her tapping me. I literally look over to my left and she's just staring at me, staring daggers at me. I'm like, and it wasn't like a oh hey. It was like a oh hey, as well as like a why are you staring at me like that? And here's the thing. Here's my thing, right? We talk so often. We talk so much. Now, in the time when we hadn't been doing the podcast, not as much.
We're on a hiatus.
But we have talked so much over the internets. It feels like we've never it feels like we're in person all the time. So for me, it didn't feel like anything crazy extraordinary. But I guess for you wanted me to scream up and down or like,
yes,
jump in your arms or something. I don't know what you were expecting, but it wasn't good enough. And she let me know, y'all. She let me know it wasn't good enough. She's like, that's it. That's all I get. Oh, hey. Like, oh,
it was disorienting. I thought we were friends.
We are we're so good friends. It's not even crazy for to see each other in person. It's like, oh hey, you're my old friend.
You're like, hey,
yeah, the greeting you want is for people I don't see that often. I'm like, oh my god, we're here in person. We almost never talk.
Mind you, you just said that was our second time ever meeting.
Right, but we're on the internet all the time together. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like we talk all the time. See, for me, it's like an old friendship. We never left each other. Like that's how I feel. Apparently, it's how you feel. Correct. Like we're strangers. That I need to be crazy excited to see you. I see you all the time. I talk to you all the time. It's like.
Well, if you're in the Facebook group, you already heard some of the story. And if you're not, you're like, what? This is the first time I'm hearing this. It doesn't have to be, because we talk in the Facebook group. You can find us on Facebook. Just search A Perfect Match Podcast and join our lovely Facebook community. We talk about each episode in there. Everybody gets their thoughts out. We get lots of discourse, we get everybody's opinions. We talk during the week. Things pop up. We have old news that pops up about past couples. Come join the fun. Come join the 600 plus people that are talking about Married at First Sight in our Facebook group, A Perfect Match Podcast. And you do need a password to get in. You have to agree to the group rules where we are spoiler free, but we also have a password. And this week, the password is
I mean, it cannot be anything other than girth certificate, right? Like it had to be that. So that's the password for this week. Girth
Good Lord.
certificate. Oh yeah, shout out to Facebook, community member Kathy, who stopped both of us at the New York after party to just let us know that she's a fan and she, really enjoyed seeing us in person. Those moments for me, which probably about 1 in every 50 person at those things knows who I am, as opposed to Aysha.
Right? No, relatable.
No, definitely not relatable, because I can tell you, I was there every 2 minutes. I was like, oh my god, it's Aysha, I love you so much. Oh, Love is Blind, Love is Blind, Love is Blind, Love is Blind, Love is Blind.
It was popping at that time.
Love is Blind all the time. No Man at First Sight, except from Kathy. So thank you so much, Kathy, for making it. Always makes me feel special when someone stops me. It doesn't make Asia feel special because it happens all the time. So, even when she's not podcast related, she's out on the street. People know who Asia is. She comes out of that big mansion on the hill.
Gosh.
People are like, "Oh my God, Asia has come to visit the commoners." But yeah, and so thank you very much, Kathy, for stopping us and letting us know that you listen to the podcast and you're a big fan. We love it. But yeah, anyway, Facebook password, girth certificate. Come and join. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun conversations there. I'm so happy that the season is back, the show is back, so we can have more spirited debates. Because I mean, listen, it was a little dry in there for a while. We didn't have any Married at First Sight to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
We back.
Yeah, we're back, and we're gonna dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. So we know this season 17 is in Denver, and then we started to get the promos about, there's a runaway bride. Somebody's gonna be what did they call it? A jilted groom.
Jilted groom. Married at First Sight cannot keep their mouth shut about their own show. Imagine how fantastic it would have been if we came in not knowing anything and got this. We would have been beside ourselves, jaws on the floor. But no, of course, like anything else shocking that happens they have to spoil it for us before the dang show even airs.
Exactly. And so we're like, okay, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see how this plays out. I can't wait to see how this happens. And we start this episode with Michael, who is the groom who gets left at the altar, walking down the aisle. I was like, whoa, okay, this is how we starting. This is different. This is different. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out. Who is this woman, right? Michael's super nervous. He just wants his wife, when he meets her, he wants her to be attached to him. He wants them to discover new meals together. He's just very excited about married life. He is excited to meet his new wife, okay? So he's hoping it's fireworks. He does understand that he is an acquired taste.
Okay. Flag on the play. I forgot my red flag. But red flag on the play. If you say that you're an acquired taste, it's like those old, that you're a redneck if. It's ain't gonna work for you if you say you're an acquired taste. People don't like acquired taste on this show.
Yeah. Well, okay. So yes. Right. Because it's also the equivalent of saying I'm not for everybody. Which is like, what is it about? What are you so self-aware about?
Yes,
we don't know. So then, Michael is at the altar. He's talking to the bride's side, but it's showing Michael's friends. And mind you, we don't even know who Michael's friends are, but I see that they're on the left. Okay, so they are only he's talking to these people that they won't show. I was like, that's weird. What's happening here? And then they decide. Okay, let me not jump the gun. Okay, his biggest fear is that she won't be attracted to him, so he's already a little bit nervous about that. Okay, he just really hopes she likes him. Then we get 15 minutes after arriving to the altar. Like, okay, that's weird. He's getting nervous. 20 minutes. Oh, okay, she still hasn't showed up. Then the officiant finally says, please stand. We get a bride walking in, and they only show the back of her head. Guys, if you're watching the YouTube version, I pulled up a picture of Michael. and his bride, which is just a figure because we don't know who this woman is.
It's got to be so sad. Like, okay, Michael, we know what you got left of the altar. Just stand here. We're going to take your little couple picture, but we know that you're the only person that's standing there. Just smile, act like you weren't just devastated on your wedding day. Man, so much.
The sigh in unison.
Yeah, so much to kind of get into here. So like we said, we knew coming into this, there's going to be some shenanigans happening here. I thought, I didn't even know we were going to get to this point. We were going to get to this stage of him being at the altar.
Mm-hmm.
She comes in and rejects him, which is what happens. She gets up there and all we hear her say, which probably isn't even her audio, is, I can't do this.
I can't do this. And it happens so fast.
Yeah, we get a bunch of flashes.
Yeah.
And it's like we see Michael's friends comforting him. We never see we never see her, and ever.
Never see her, never see her side of the family.
So we don't see her like running away. We just see flashes of Michael devastated, of his friends comforting him
trying not to cry.
Yeah. So coming into this, I did not think it was going to get to this point where she comes up and rejects him. I thought it was going to be something like before, we're at the wedding day, we're at the venue, but she cannot bring herself to walk down the aisle. She backs out.
Oh no, this is exactly what I pictured. Really? I didn't picture not seeing her, but I pictured her saying no at the altar.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't picture that. I pictured her just not going through with it on the day, but not walking up there and rejecting him. Mm-hmm. Like that was devastating to me as well as to Michael. And go ahead.
Oh, wait, I was gonna say, and just so y'all know, Rudy. We call her Rudy, but Keisha Knight Pulliam hosts the after party, which comes on after Married at First Sight. And so if you don't watch the show, that's what we're here for. If you also don't watch After Party, we're here for that too. On After Party, Rudy said that she knew that this bride had already planned to say no even before seeing Michael. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, that is a little bit of like that's a little bit of a very small sigh of relief that, okay, it wasn't him.
Right.
It was the concept that she had spent months going through this process to get ready for.
It wasn't the fact that she walked in and saw this man standing at the altar with a crown on and a sword.
Wasn't that
because that did happen, folks. He had a crown and a sword up at the altar. And this was already weird, right? Because if you people out there listening, watch the matchmaking special, they went about this so weirdly. You can tell they shot a whole matchmaking special with all 5 couples involved.
Yeah,
had to chop this thing to pieces to make it fit their narrative. Because at the end of the matchmaking special, they're like, oh wow, we can't find a match for Michael, but we're going to try really hard to find him one. And that's pretty much how the matchmaking special ends. And you hear it's done so poorly because you hear like Pastor Cal, Dr. Pia, and Dr. Pepper talking. And then they cut away to a shot of Dr. Pia listening to Cal talk. And it's totally out of sync. And Cal's like, well, we're going to try really hard to find Michael a match. Like they honestly added that dialogue in later and showed a shot where you don't watch Cal talking, so they can just add it in and pretend like that was natural. It was so poorly done. It was hilarious.
They're like, so Michael and his unknown bride are going to really work out together. We see a great future for Michael and his unknown bride.
Yeah. Girl X. Girl to be determined later.
When it's like, okay, you're acting like this is season 3. This is season 17. This has never happened that you want a person so bad and you just have to find them a match. You haven't been able to find them a match by the end of the matchmaking special. So, okay. But
they don't even follow the story, Asia. They don't even follow that up with anything. We just come into this and he gets jilted. Like you're not even following the story right. Like, you know what I mean? You made this up in the matchmaking special. Then you don't even continue it the right way.
They changed their mind in between the matchmaking special and the premiere. They were like, okay, we're just gonna act like we didn't find her. And then the premiere, like, wouldn't it be great? It was two different teams.
Yes, that's what it feels like.
They didn't have a proper handoff. They didn't have a knowledge transfer to figure out the ending of this episode and the beginning of this one. It was just treated completely separate. And we're just supposed to assume that they found they found him a match, but she just wasn't down to get married.
The narrative is not narrativing. It's not working. But so let's now get into what we think is going on here behind the scenes. What happened?
Okay.
So why don't we see Mystery Girl X, in your opinion?
I would imagine that before you start this, you have signed significant paperwork to agree to film at all, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, if you've already agreed to this and now you don't want to be seen, is it like, because I'm in between two things. Is it her decision or is it the show's decision? Because if it's her decision to decide, oh, I don't want to be seen, then is she mad at the show about something? Is she trying to sue the show? Or was it the show saying, we don't want this woman to receive backlash, so we're just going to try to eliminate her completely from everything? You best believe I was pausing the bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm.
I caught her at one point.
She was there.
She was there.
Yeah.
She was behind Lauren at one point when one of the brides, was it Emily, was twerking on the wall.
Yeah, trying to do a handstand on the wall or something.
Yeah. I think she was trying to twerk on the wall. Maybe. She was doing a handstand, but then twerking, and Lauren was hyping her up, and the mystery bride was right behind Lauren.
So you think that was Mystery Bride?
Yes, it 100% was. She had long dark hair, and she had a bride to be sash on, and it cut off her neck. Like,
oh, so you couldn't see her face.
You could not see her face.
Okay.
Yeah, they specifically had it where you could see Lauren, and she was cut off completely. I was like, oh, that was so intentional.
Yeah.
But there was at no point I saw her face.
Yeah, so my first thought was the show is mad at Mystery Girl X. Mm-hmm. And they don't want her to get any clout from this. They don't want her to get any publicity from this. So like, fine, you're not going to do the show. You're not going to be seen on the show, period. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe they think she did this for some like publicity stunt. Like, you're not going to get any notoriety off this. We're not going to show you at all. But then, MAFS Streets is talking, and they're like, the Mystery Girl X is suing the show for some reason. She's brought a lawsuit against Married at First Sight for whatever reason. Now, as you said, the paperwork that you sign I'm sure says, once you sign this paperwork, we can use your likeness while filming the show in any way we want. We can do whatever we want with your image when we get it, when we catch it on camera. But I think the lawsuit theory might be correct, because I don't think the show would ever turn down willingly the lead up to the rejection, where she's questioning, she's doing all this, she's going back and forth.
Why she's deciding to do this, yes.
Right. So I think it's some legal issue that why we're not seeing her, we're not seeing any of her family. They're going into great stakes, great pains to not show her family, to not show her at all. Mm-hmm. So I think the lawsuit angle is probably the one that's accurate, because I don't think they could ever turn down the drama of her decision making to decide not to go through with this. I don't think they could ever turn down watching her go up to that altar, rejecting him, and then watching her walk back down, probably in shocked silence in that whole, sanctuary or wherever they were, barn. I don't know what it was. Just
sanctuary,
like barn. Yeah, whatever. Just a whole shocked silence of her walking back down the aisle. I don't think the show would turn that down.
Right.
So I think that lawsuit angle is probably what's really happening here.
Yeah. And there was an article by In Touch Weekly 2 hours ago that said, that was like, who is the mystery bride? And of course, it's nowhere in there, and it's just giving update on after party and stuff. So it's like, this is sealed tightly. Yes. There is nowhere that we have seen who this woman is. The rumor out there, who the woman that people are accusing it to be, that woman is supposedly Michael's new bride. So that's the
replace-
second one. Yes, exactly. So we'll handle that whenever that gets there, and that's addressed on the show. But as far as the woman who left him at the altar, her name is nowhere to be seen.
It's locked up tight. Now I wish they could be doing this for some stunt later where it's like we're finally gonna meet the mystery woman on the reunion special or something. But I think we're never gonna know who this person is unless something gets settled.
Yeah, I don't think we'll never know. I think once the dust settles, potentially. But I think right now, because that could have been why the show was delayed. Like trying to figure out how to handle this whole thing. Like, should we include her? Like, should we? Because did it not feel like that beginning segment with Michael was like I don't know. It could just be because it's out of the normal format, but it just felt so out of place.
It felt choppy.
Yeah.
And it felt like they had to like address the elephant in the room. So it was like, we're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna flash back to 2 weeks earlier.
Yes.
We're just gonna get this out of the way because, and they, like Married at First Sight likes to do, they spoil the whole thing so that they know that's why we're watching this, which is why I'm actually shocked that they just decided to show this up front and not at the end.
Right.
But I think it makes sense because they don't want us to be like, why are they not showing
Where's the fifth bride?
At the bachelorette party, at the whatever. So I think just to make it crystal clear, like show what's going to happen up front. So listen, it was handled sloppily.
Yeah. I just feel like there are people on this show. That's why it has to be like a her mad at the show situation, because there have been people that have gotten married and done so much worse. Like they would have done their partner a favor to like leave them at the altar rather than what they went through during the 8 weeks.
Yep.
So I'm like, I can't believe I don't know. I just couldn't think a no at the altar is like, nope, well, you signed up to do this, so we're going to play that out.
Maybe she's joining into that lawsuit that guy from Love is Blind as a class action suit he's bringing against the production company, because it's the same production company that does Love is Blind. So maybe she's joining their class action lawsuit and she can't be shown on the show. I don't know, but like MAFS likes to do, they kind of fumbled it a little bit. So
yeah, I was shocked that it went down this way, but we did find out a little bit more about Michael when they did the flashback to 2 weeks earlier. We learned he's 38. He's a senior project manager in tech. He's not the typical
38. He's
yes,
like 31. Is he 38?
Yeah, he's 38.
Wow, he's a young 38.
I
could have sworn he's like 31, but I don't have his age down here, so you're probably right.
Yeah, no, I saw it on the thing. He's 38. And so he says self-expression is very important to him. And we do find out that he lost his dad at a very young age. And so like that, he said that's been his biggest challenge in life thus far.
Check that off the MAFS checklist. Lost a parent, parental trauma. Check. Yeah.
I mean, it's transformed. Like that's a big, that's a big thing
for sure.
So he said he feels like right now is the right time to do Married at First Sight because this is the most confident he's been as a person.
I like Michael. Michael seems like a really nice, genuine guy. Seems like he really is kind of out of the box. So I worry about that for him if he, depending on who he is, eventually set up with. But he seems like a really nice, genuine guy.
He does. I hope they really find him someone who is sweet and can embrace him for his uniqueness rather than like, well, why don't you cut your hair? Why don't you why are you the way that you are? Why
you try to look like Captain Jack Sparrow all the time?
Because I feel like you got a good head of hair, especially at 38. Rock it. Not that 38 is up there, but
yeah, thank you. Aysha.
You can grow a good head of hair. I'm not saying that, but
I could. Have you seen my hair sometimes when it's
Literally,
not right now.
Texted me and was like, "Did Jason cut his hair?"
Yes, I did.
So
my hairline is betraying me though, so get used to it as while you can.
So yeah, I hope I wonder what it's going to be like. Is it going to feel, delayed, because how much longer after this will he be getting married again? Is it
I
going
mean,
to feel like this person can't feel like they were a second choice. He's not choosing anyway.
right. It's not a
But
Love is Blind situation where it's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, that girl turned me down. So you want something from you. So why don't you come on through?
right.
So I'm very curious to see how the show handles this. With him, like, does he get a visit from the experts and they're like, hey, we know this didn't
Mhm.
work out, but we do have a backup plan for you. How do they introduce the new woman in? How long do they give her to get ready for a marriage now, because she
Right. She
didn't think
doesn't
she's
have
getting
a
married.
bachelorette party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what's that gonna be like? I'm sure it's gonna be akin to other situations where a couple has had to start later, like uh cannot think of the name, but they had COVID and had to go to
Oh,
the
Ben and
honey.
Morgan.
Yes, had to go to the honeymoon late. But I'm just wondering how much of a heads up they give to this new girl, like, hey, come on, get married tomorrow, or is it like we'll give you 2 weeks like normal to get your stuff together?
Yeah. Yeah. I I was thinking, I was like, well, it's not even that bad. He didn't even see the new bride, but he did see her. We didn't. But I was just like, he doesn't know what she looks like. So yeah, we for the five couples, we are going to say whether we think we're gonna this season we're gonna do just for this early portion, we're gonna give them either the green light, the yellow light, or red light. Green light is we think that they are good to go, they have a potential future, like it's things are looking up. Yellow is like, I'm on the fence, I don't know, we got to let them meet for real first, and then red light is okay, no, absolutely not. Definitely no. So with Michael, we don't know his other woman yet, so we
Yeah,
can't give an opinion. But I do like Michael.
yeah. Michael seems like a nice guy. So
Yeah,
no obvious things that are jumping out to me that'll be like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
yeah.
Minus his eccentricities,
Hmm.
which may not be for every person.
Yeah. So which couple do you want to talk about next?
Let us
What is the first couple you want to talk
yeah,
about?
the first real couple. Let's move on to Lauren and Orion. Very interesting duo here. Lauren is 31 years old. She is a federal budget officer, and Orion is 27, an electrician. So a little bit of an age gap, interestingly. Um,
41. I mean, 41. 4 years.
yeah, 4 years. So we start out with Orion. He's telling his family, they all seem very excited. With Married at First Sight, you can get many different varied reactions. They all seem very happy for him, which is good. So we like that about Orion and his family. Orion tells us, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He is a Native American. He has some Navajo. He has some Apache in his bloodline from those tribes, those cultures, and he wants to really introduce his culture to his future wife. He talks about how in the Navajo tradition, usually a person made up of two souls, and together they can be masculine and feminine together. He tells us he has explored both sides of him, and he expresses this as saying, "Yeah, I went on a date with a man, and I did at the end of that date get a surprise." He says a surprise kiss from this man, but that is when he realized he wasn't gay, but he still identifies as masculine and feminine. So he tells us he's looking for everlasting love, like his grandparents who were together for 63 years.
That's wild. Long time.
Wild. He tells his friends, he's looking for a partner, and he's really optimistic for that. He can find love this way. His friend does tell him, like, listen, you like to normally rush things, so you can't really do that here. You have to take the time to know her, know who she is. So you can't be your normal self. I love when friends are like, don't be you.
Don't be you.
We got a lot of that in these introductions. It's like, you know how you usually are? Do the opposite of that, which is like, uh-oh. We then visit with Lauren. We see her telling her family. I think her family's pretty excited. They have questions, of course.
Right. Yeah. Naturally.
One is, what if he's ugly? The other is, what if he's white? Which is okay, gonna be.
She's like, well, what if he's not white, but he's not black?
It almost makes you think they were like preparing her for this, like, just so you know, like maybe.
I mean, in the matchmaking special, Pastor Cal did specifically ask her, would you be open? And so you said, would you be open to someone who's not Black? And because they focus so much on, I mean, we even see it in a second. She says, like, she's blickety, blickety Black. She is very proud of her Blackness, and which, as she should be, love it.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
so they were like, they made a point to say it on the matchmaking special. We searched high and low, and we did not find a nice a Black man that we thought would be a good partner for Lauren.
I love that they called it out, because I
Right.
think if they hadn't called it out, it would have been the elephant in the room that everyone was thinking about, talking about. We talked about it. When we saw these couples at the end of last season, we got the heads up about who the couples were. Like, oh, only one Black person on the cast. Interesting. So I love that they called it out in the matchmaking special. Like, we could not find one Black man for this woman.
Yeah.
They talk about. Lauren talks about it later. She says, listen, there's just not a lot of eligible Black bachelors out there in this dating market. So and that's what it is. So she does say, she's open to it. When she was talking to Cal, she's like, yeah, I'm open to it. Well, I was like, it's not a very enthusiastic open. So that worries me a bit.
No, I feel like it's like yes, I feel like there are variations of openness, right? But I do feel like it's like that's not her preference, but she is open. I think that's what it was like. Okay, if my preference is not there, then I'm open. Like, I feel like she was processing it in that moment. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm super open. That would be as if she had already considered that. I feel like she was processing it in that moment.
Yeah,
not that she was not open.
It does make me worry that if she doesn't get a Black man, she would be much more open to this whole thing if she had a Black man. And it makes me worry that that they're not going to mesh in the way that I want them to mesh.
I don't know. I am so optimistic about them.
Save it for our lights. Save it.
So I can just let you say you don't feel good about them, and then
I didn't say what my light was. I didn't say they're good. They're down the tubes. I didn't say they're whatever we say. But yeah, Lauren, she's not big on labels, but she does identify as queer, which is very interesting. She says she's attracted to the safety.
She's a floater.
She's a floater. Floaters grab your life vest. She is attracted to the safety and strength of a man, but is also attracted to women. But she does point out, she talks about it here. She also talks about an after party where Rudy kind of rudely suggests,
that was weird interaction.
Yeah, so after party, Rudy's like, so you like men and women? So does that mean you're interested in a throuple? Which is like, and Lauren even says to Rudy, like, yeah, the assumption when you say that you're queer is that you are, automatically open to more than one partner in a relationship. So she says that here, and she says that in after party that she wants to be monogamous. She doesn't have any, interest in open relationships. She does mention that, now having fun in bed is one thing, but in a relationship, not really. So that was her qualifier. So listen, I just want to stop down and be like, this is a big moment for Married at First Sight. Because if you would ask Married at First Sight in the first 16 seasons, they don't know what queer is. They don't know. They don't know about people that are attracted to the same sex. What? That's a thing? We don't know that.
Right.
So for them
especially when there was someone on season 15 who did openly identify as either bi or queer. I'm not sure what she specifically identifies as, but was open with her husband about it, and it never was on the show.
Right. And so for them to be this outright about it, both Orion and Lauren, and to have it included on the show is a big moment for the show, because they never really, they never called it out in this way before. And, we did hear rumblings back in last season when they're getting ready to cast another season. And in their casting announcements, they included the fact that you can be attracted, you can be interested in a same sex couple. So, Married at First Sight, I think is finally coming with the times, and hopefully being more inclusive in who they cast for this show.
Right. I was very glad that they included this, because not only does that make Lauren feel like, okay, I can be honest and open, and I'm being asked more about this. It's not like, oh, shh about that part, you know.
We'll just cut that out that you said that.
Blah blah blah. Okay, keep going. I feel like it not only does it make Lauren feel like, okay, I can be honest and transparent through this process by being my full self, but I think that it also opens the door for future seasons for, okay, if you want to be married at first sight, you don't have to be the typical like you don't have to be straight, basically. If you are fluid, or if you're more open with your sexuality, we are open to that, is what the show, I feel like, is saying now, which I feel like it will open the door for a lot more people. I mean, no, we have not even just that one example of the past bride, but there's also a past groom too, where there was like murmurs of them being in a relationship with someone of the same sex. So I feel like if the fact that, you know, it doesn't have to be a thing, because I feel like it was a thing for those people when they announced it on their social media, or they post pictures and people are, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this? Right? Because they're like, on the show, they were married to this person. So how is this so? Whereas now it's like, this does not have to be a thing. If worse comes to worse and Lauren and Orion don't end up together, and then Lauren pops up and has a girlfriend, doesn't have to be this huge headline, because it's already out there, it's already announced. So I'm very proud of the show for allowing, like, including it as a part of like her story.
And listen, as much kudos as you want to give to Married at First Sight as well, they still have some work to do. We talked about Rudy and the whole monogamous throuple situation. She also talked to Orion, and when he talked about his fluidity, she was like, "Oh my god!" She's like, she asked the other two people on the panel, like, "How do you guys feel about that?" As if it's some like taboo subject that the guys are going to have this, like, as if they're going to turn around and be like, "Oh my god, you're homosexual, oh my gosh," like as if it was some big issue. And to the guys' credit that were on the panel, he's like, I don't care, like, you do you.
And it even put Orion in this, it's so weird, like the only person I know is Orion is like Omarion's brother. Orion. So
there's an Omarion and an Orion.
Yes, that's Janae Aiko's daughter's dad. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But this Orion, it put him in a very difficult position, because he was like, I haven't even talked to them about this.
Yeah, she kind of put him on the spot in the moment. So, you know, we still have work to do with making it not a big deal, because that was like, Rudy was like, oh my, like, scandalous. Like, oh, what do you guys think about that? About his sexuality? His sexuality is really none of their business. So I don't know why this was, you know, a thing.
Yeah. So,
Laura. I was about to call her Laurel. She kind of looks like Laura from Survivor. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So Lauren talks about, you know, the fact that her mom actually recently passed away in April, and you know, she wants to be with a strong man that makes her feel safe, and she kind of wants to replicate the relationship she had with her mom, because her mom, with her husband, had that type of relationship where she, you know, her mom felt safe and all that stuff. She wants to kind of replicate the relationship her mom and her dad had. She does talk about, like I said, Denver doesn't have a lot of color, so dating is difficult, and Black culture is very important to her. She says she is open with being with a man that's not Black, but hopes he's open-minded enough to want to know about her culture. And she hopes that doing MAFS, she finds someone that is, you know, as hopeful as she is and wants the same things as her. So yeah, we get to the family, like, oh, what if he's ugly? What if he's Black? She says, you know, she's down to adjust. She's here for the ride as long as he is tall and fine. But also she wants someone funny, kind, someone who feels like home, and fire ass sex don't hurt. Careful what you wish for with Orion. Her family says, you know, she hopes that her person is her enigma for her, not someone normal and basic. She needs someone on her level, and they hope that her partner is ready for her.
Does she strike you as tall?
She did strike me as tall. I don't know how tall she is.
Tall, and then this picture we're showing on the YouTube version, he is taller than her. So, or roughly.
I don't know I see
it's
that.
her hair. Look, I mean,
It's her hair.
obviously her
Yes,
hair.
yes.
So
I think they're about the same height. Like maybe he has an inch on her, maybe.
Because it looks like their eyebrows are in the same place, but he has a bigger forehead. So I don't know. He could if he's taller, it's like half an inch.
It's got some inches in other places too on her, I think.
Oh my god. But it does look that he's taller than her, so I think that she will like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about our feelings and thoughts on these two in a sec.
So she said she's already in the my man mode.
Yeah,
Can you imagine her saying that about Orion?
Oh boy. So we do get a little blurb about why the experts match each couple after we get our introductions to them. And we hear that the experts match them because Lauren is loving and adventurous and matches Orion in that he is both masculine and feminine, which will help her need of security and acceptance. And they also both want to share their cultures with other people. So those are some of the reasons why from the experts that they were matched. So that's interesting. So for Lauren and Orion, because I think what Married at First Sight likes to do typically is they will show the wedding and suit shopping for people whose weddings we're going to see pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So we saw Lauren and Orion's dress and suit shopping. Not anything hugely crazy happened here, except for Lauren kind of broke down because her mother's not there to help her dress shop, and she really, I think that's something she probably envisioned in her life. When she gets married, that her mom would be there to help. She has other family members there to help, but she's really kind of broken up that her mom's not there to really give her input.
Yeah, and she said the only other time she's tried on a wedding dress was her mom's wedding dress at 16. And so this is her first time trying on a wedding dress for herself. And she was when she couldn't decide, she's like, she knows her mom would know which one to pick.
Yeah.
And so it was a very emotional trip, but I was so glad that she had the love and support there that she did.
Yeah, and Orion, he's trying on his tux. He looks good in tuxes. He had a nice green one to start out, which was interesting. I think would have probably fit his aesthetic, is kind of over the topness, but he ended up deciding on a blue one, which was kind of James Bondy. It was kind of nice.
Maybe I got to check my teeth. The first one looked black to me.
Oh, here we go again with your color saturation on your TV. Y'all, if you weren't with us last season, Aysha's TV is colorblind, or maybe you're colorblind. Have you checked yourself for colorblindness?
I know colors.
What color is this bottle I got here?
That's like an aqua. It's like green.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe it's your TV. You gotta check your saturation levels on your TV or something. get your settings right, because you are.
I know. I was like, you know what? I watched this episode with my brother. He was in town. And so I was like, he tried on the black suit, then he tried on blue. I was like, what he would look good in? A green. Yeah. And he agreed with me. I was like, he was like, oh, you know what? That would look good. So it's my TV. Okay. I'll get that fixed earlier this season rather than forgetting about it and letting the whole season go.
Yeah, so then we have the bachelor and bachelorette parties. So for the bachelorette parties, we're gonna take each couple as a bachelor and bachelorette parties. Not much happened here on the bachelor and bachelorette parties. They just got kind of they all got kind of wasted and was like, it was whatever. Were you surprised we didn't get a scene of all the grooms and all the brides meeting up for the first time like we usually do?
Yes. I said, where was the meeting scene? We all of a sudden are supposed to know that Lauren knows about Emily's dating history and why, we didn't get any proper meeting. And I think the only reason is they could not edit out the mystery girl. There was no way. Point. She was probably sitting not on the end. And there was no way to edit out. And maybe they did, but then it was just like, okay, we're just repeating all the same. They have no problem repeating stuff. So
I think they could have chopped things up in a way that they could have shown it, because I think that's important for us to get to understand what the dynamic is between all the men and all the women, because we've had some good drama in these meetups. People were brides or other brides. Yeah. So I missed that interaction, and I'm sure the show was like, well, do y'all want us to get to the weddings or not? Y'all always complain that we drag stuff out, and now we're cutting stuff out. You're complaining now. Which one is it? But I think
it's
that
would
have been, it's both. So I think that would have been important. I would have liked to see what the interaction was between the women and the men. We need a little bit more of the men, because I think you hit it on the head there that they couldn't really, cut around this woman as well as they wanted to. So maybe they did away with that. Lauren's into the Lauren. We had very different levels of how people were into the strippers. Lauren was into the strippers. She had one of the strippers take a shot out of her boobs. Lauren's like, my husband, come get me because I'm acting a fool. Like I really do like Lauren.
I do too.
She seems like a really good time.
Yes, she has such a great personality. She's fun. She seems like I will be very surprised if we get like a different Lauren once she's married, like just completely flipping the switch.
And when I watched the matchmaking special, I said Lauren seems kind of reserved. She seems a little, she reminded me. As we watch these shows, I'm like, who does this person remind me of from the past and past? Of course, she really reminded me of Brianna in the matchmaking special. So where Brianna's kind of she knows how to have a good time, but she's pretty reserved most of the time. So she reminds me of Brianna. But then here comes this episode, and her personality really came out in this first episode. So I don't know who she reminds you of now, but she just
Lauren.
She really kind of shone out in this episode for me, and I really liked a lot of what I saw here.
Yeah, me too.
As far as with the bachelor party with Orion, here's where we got the weirdness, right? Because out of nowhere, I don't forget who brings it up. It's like, what are you guys nervous about for the wedding?
Well, first we get the girls' side of it, where they're saying, "Oh, have y'all ever met a penis that's too big?" And Lauren is the only one that says no. And I was like, that was random. First of all, we didn't get them all meeting. Now we get them sitting down talking about this. Okay, whatever. We
gotta have the sex talk all the time,
right? But then it connects to the guys' talk.
Yeah, didn't she say she had enough 8 and 9 inches to last her lifetime? She doesn't need any more. Cut to Orion out of nowhere. No one even really asked him about anything. They're like, what are you nervous about on the wedding night? He's like, I'm nervous about how much it's gonna hurt. And they're like, what are you saying exactly? I forgot who it was. It was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I've got a girth certificate. I've never ever heard this word in my life. And he's like, sometimes when you hit those walls, it's disappointing. I'm like, I had the same reaction as the other group, just like, what? Why did you tell us this? I didn't want to know about this. I did like on the after party, if you couldn't tell from the scene, Orion had a few too many and didn't even remember that he had brought that up. His best friend Dominic, who on after party, Dominic's name gets dropped so many times on after party. My buddy
that's
Dominic,
that's like his best friend. Clearly,
I was like, are y'all more than friends? Because you talk about Dominic a lot.
You don't have any friends like that,
Aysha.
Come on,
Aysha. But it was so much.
See, and that's the whole reason they are pointing out how they have to explain this, because people make those assumptions like that.
But no,
are y'all more than friends? No, it's possible to have.
We've never heard in the history of after parties so many friends' names brought up. Why are we hearing about Dominic so many times?
And there you go, making an assumption. It is possible. I have friends who I bring up constantly. Why? Because we are really close, where we talk that much. This man is coming from being a single man to now being married. You don't think his friendships have been important?
I do, but why did he keep having to bring the name up? I was like, why can he
just
say
for
my
one,
friends?
She asked, "Oh, do your friends know about this experience?" Well, yeah, the first person I told was Dominic.
But then he said Dominic 10 more times.
Because she said, "Oh, tell us more about this." He's like, "Okay, well, I didn't even remember it." The person who had to tell me was
I
Dominic.
think it's a little weird on the show's part to keep putting Dominic into the narrative. It's like, why
it's the
but
questioning
that
and then
never
having
happens.
to explain.
But it never happens, Aysha. I've never heard anyone else talk about their buddy on after party this much. I don't know anyone else's names. 2
times.
Their friends.
What was the other time?
No,
he had to explain it with his going on a date with the guy, and then explaining it with that he didn't remember the girth certificate.
I don't remember any. I don't remember any other times on that after party, but I do know he said Dominic, the word Dominic, about 10 times. And I cannot tell you any other friends' names on any other season of this show, but I will remember the name Dominic for the rest of my freaking life. And I'll remember that he is Orion's best friend because it was brought
I'm
up
glad
so
you know
much.
his friends now.
Hey, I'm just saying it was weird. I was like, what is with Dominic? Anyway, whatever. Moving on.
Was literally the context. You're trying to take it out of context, but it wasn't like she's asking, so were you nervous about getting married? Well, yeah. So Dominic, no, it literally was in the context of, oh, you didn't who were the first people you told about going?
It's not even about his sexuality. It's about the fact that he brought the name up so many. If this was
I know, but I'm saying that's why he did, because she's asking, who did you tell about going on the date? He's like, okay, one of the first people I told.
No, but you brought it up so many other times is what I'm saying.
No, I'm telling you, it was those 2 times.
It was way more than 2
and
times.
him explaining the stories.
Listeners, back me up in the Facebook group. Back me up.
It
was weird. It was weird how many times the name Dominic was brought up. Okay,
first of all, it's not about his sexuality. You're the one who just said, "Are y'all more than just friends?"
That's what I'm saying. It was weird. I would say that about anybody.
So that contradicts it.
But I would say that about anyone, no matter if they were straight or anything else. That they were. This guy is so important to this guy. I was like, are y'all more than friends? Are you okay? But anyway, new Facebook password. My best friend Dominic.
Oh my god.
Okay, so that was pretty much Lauren and Orion in a nutshell. Unless you have anything else to say about Lauren and Orion.
I think that they, I saw a lot of people say this in our Facebook group, that they will either be perfectly matched for each other, or this can go perfectly wrong, or not perfectly wrong. This will go wrong. I think that she will like that he has his masculine qualities and his feminine qualities. I think that she's going to like how much he embraces his culture as an Indigenous person. I think he's going to just enjoy her personality. I think he's going to think she's beautiful. I think that for one, they look so good together from the picture I've shown. 2, I do think that they're just it's going to be it honestly, and not just because it's an interracial couple, but it reminds me of Lauren and Cameron from Love is Blind, where it's like, you would not, if you had put the 10 guys and 10 girls up, you would not have put them 2 together on the show. But once they got together and they were it just works. It just works so well. And so I'm really hoping that's the case for them. So with our red light, green light, red light, green light, yellow light, please pull up what you're thinking about Lauren and Orion.
All right. So let me explain first.
You ruined the moment.
I'm
up here by myself.
I can't even see it. I'm sorry. I can't even see you because I'm on the settings page of this thing. Okay.
Okay. Explain your yellow.
Well, here's the thing. These first episodes, I don't know. I haven't seen them together yet. But my fear for Lauren and Orion, I do fear that they're going to have kind of a culture off. Like, whose culture is more important, mine or yours? Whose is this? Whose is that? I also think that he's not. I know he says he's masculine and feminine, but I just don't think he's going to be masculine enough for her. And the fact that she says she wants the strength and security of a man, I don't know if she's going to feel that from Orion off the bat, which is why I have a yellow for them.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that she is looking for someone who is hyper masculine. Like,
I didn't say hyper masculine. I don't think she needs someone hyper masculine.
Well, I don't see him as not masculine.
Okay.
So I feel like he has I feel like the way he described it felt accurate, where he has a good balance of masculinity and femininity. And I do think that she'll like both. I don't think that because he has feminine qualities that she will see a lack of security. And so
I don't think it's gonna be. The lack of security part is not really a thing for me. The security part doesn't. I think it's I think the fact she said that she wants the strength of a man. I think she wants a more masculine man than she maybe portrays. I also think that she says that she's okay with a non-black person, but I think part of her is going to be missing that.
He strikes me as someone who will embrace it. Like the culture off never crossed my mind. And especially with in the previews, we got to see that he gave her like a helmet, and he was like, I want my ancestors to meet you before I do. And it looked like that would like meant a lot to her. They were like, wow, like he is really into his culture. And so I think it's going to be, I hope it's a healthy environment of learning about each other rather than, oh, this is important. Oh, this is important. It's like, oh, she wants to celebrate Kwanzaa. Okay, that's awesome. Then we can also celebrate this. You know, like I'm so optimistic with them. And I'm just setting myself up to be heartbroken if it doesn't work out. But I know that I'm just like really optimistic.
The overall vibe I get from, I mean, of course, we have not seen them together yet, but just the vibe I get from them separately, what I think will happen when they come together is I think we're going to get a classic, we're probably just good friends, and we're probably just going to ride out the season being good friends. We're probably not going to be very romantic. We're just going to be, we're going to ride this thing out. We're going to be probably more cordial, Gina and Clint.
So I could say that about the other three couples for sure. I can't base that on anything.
I mean, sure.
I feel so strongly about them that I think that they both have a healthy level of wantingness. That for one, he does not strike me as 27. He strikes me as a very mature 33. Like, so
yeah, I can see that for sure. He's like a very mature, down to earth guy.
So I think as long if they can embrace each other, it's gonna be great. So I don't know. I'm just optimistic.
I see friends here. That's what I see friends when I look at them.
I see love. Where is it?
Yeah,
I can't even orientate it.
Hearts.
You got to do the Gen Z heart.
Oh my gosh, I'm not a Gen Z.
It's with your middle fingers and then your no. Where are your thumbs coming in?
They're right down here.
The Gen Z heart is the middle finger and then the pointer finger.
Middle finger and pointer finger. Okay, hold on.
And they always, and then there you go.
Feel like I'm doing a gang sign.
Well, no, it's the other way around. The middle finger is the long part. Yes, okay. And then the pointer finger. Yes. Okay.
Hey, I'm lit, right? That's what you kids say. I'm
like
litty.
Throw up the half heart a lot.
Litty,
yeah.
Did you go off that? You get that off of TikTok or something?
Well, my brother is 25, so.
That explains it.
Yeah.
All right. That's Lauren and Orion.
That is Lauren and Orion.
Where are we moving on to next?
Oh my gosh.
Where are we going
y'all.
next?
This is how we are.
Listen, we haven't talked for a while about this show, so we're
right. We got to catch up.
You know, we like to get off a track. We like to get on tangents. That's what we do here. So that's what it is.
Okay. So next, we are going to talk about Austin and Becca.
Who?
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie. It is very difficult, and I'm putting this up for me. It's not even for y'all. This is for me. Okay. Oh. We have Austin and Becca. Okay. So we find out, we meet both of them when they're both 31. He's a business development rep, and
whatever that means. So these job titles get me every time. Like, what do you do? I still don't know what you do. You told me what you do. I still don't know.
Yeah, no, Who, me?
Well, yes, you.
Okay.
And also the people on this show.
Yeah.
Wedding photographer, I got that. I can see that in a heartbeat. Business development, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what you do every day.
Yeah, so she's a full-time wedding photographer, which I think is really cool. Especially to be able to do that full-time. That's impressive. Yeah. So we start out learning more about him, about Austin. So he says he's gone through his life being very indecisive. So he's been told a lot that he's been indecisive. So he set the stage for us there. He is like with his roommate, who is a woman, And
that hasn't worked out very well in the past before. Now has it? Michael and Jasmine.
But right. Michael's roommate said, I'm not going on camera.
I have no part in this.
Yes.
No way.
So Austin is with his roommate and his parents are coming over and he says his roommate is there to help him break the news to them. And so his mom says that she is very cautious and worrisome about this because he's like, yeah, I know you were very cautious. No, I am.
Mom has a stank face. She has a stank face immediately. Like, I don't think this is very wise.
She's not for this. Even his dad says, it's a pretty good chance this is not going to work out.
Yeah, Dad. Have you seen the show? Dad follows the show. Dad knows about the show. Something real quick about Lauren. After party, Rudy asked all the people, have they watched the show before? Which is very interesting. I don't think we've really ever gotten that before. Lauren is a day one fan.
Yes.
Listen, Lauren, if you're watching, hi.
If you're listening to the podcast, Lauren, Aysha like Aysha, JAYR 1085.
I'm not a robot, I promise. I just sound like I am.
That's like the typical spam account name.
Yeah. I'm not an Nigerian prince trying to get your money.
1 2 3 4 5 6 7 0 0 0.
JAYR 8215.
Giving away free PS5s every day.
All you have to do is enter your social security number. We'll send it right to you.
Exactly. They're talking about this potential of being married at first sight, and his mom Austin is like, sometimes if there's no chemistry can be built over time. His mom, chemistry cannot be built over time.
It cannot, Austin.
His mom does not think he's ready for marriage. She thinks that
her arms were folded the whole time.
And her lips were pursed.
No, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work. No, not gonna work.
So she thinks that marriage is more challenging than he thinks it's going to be, and so he tells them that he's like, she's probably
right on that. By the way, she's probably
right. Yes. That's why I was like, they know more about him than we know, and so they are appropriately cautious, I feel. So he breaks the news that the experts found him a match. His roommate and his parents do not react. They're just like, "Oh, okay." And his roommate's like, "Yes, good."
It's like hitting him. She's like, "Oh my God, Austin!" She holds the end for like 1,000 seconds. That's so great. Oh my God.
Yes. So yeah, his mom. For one, I think his mom secretly dislikes him. Because at every turn, she was good. She was just disagreeing with this man. She does not support this. She thinks he's ill prepared. She thinks he is silly for wanting to do this. And it wasn't even like I love you. I know you're gonna do what's best for you, but I have some concerns. It was like,
like you try to give a kid some food that they're like, nope.
Stop trying to feed this marriage to me.
You're not mature enough.
Not ready.
Nope.
She might as well put her finger up to his head and say, "You are immature.
You are an idiot sandwich."
I couldn't believe it. I was like, look, she knows him better than we do, and we should be listening to her concerns. So
that's like, I think you might be ready. Mom's like, no, he's not. He's definitely not. He's not ready. He's not ready, Bob, or whatever your name is.
Don't lie to him. So we get his version of himself. He says he is a typical Colorado native. Like, he loves being outdoors. He has a need to be very social. He's just been looking for the right person. And he always dates with the goal of marriage. Like, he's not going to date someone if he doesn't see that potential there. He wants the typical white picket fence life.
So
how many people have a white picket fence anymore?
Not many. As he's describing himself, we see a wall full of hats in his house.
Mm-hmm.
And this man, throughout the whole episode and after party, for some reason, insists on wearing a backward hat anytime he has a hat on.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, what are you doing?
It's
This
a
is not the 90s, early 2000s. We don't really do that anymore.
It's a look.
It's not the look. It's not a good look for him. He cannot pull it off. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed it in the episode. It was so off-putting to me. And then he did it again on after party, and I was like, "Oh, this is a thing you think you can pull off, but this is not a thing you can pull off. It's not your thing."
Yeah.
Get a new personality. Get a new hat type.
We end off with him where his mom is like, "Marriage is not a game. You should be very nervous." So she
moms know.
yeah. So then we meet Becca. So Becca's making pizza with some friends. They're rolling dough and stuff, and her friends are so excited when she tells. Like it's the opposite reaction we just saw with Austin. Her friends are so excited. We start hearing more about her. She says life is too short to be normal. She doesn't go by like regular social norms. She plays Nintendo 64 every day. She's so weird. She's constantly listening to podcasts.
Who does that? What losers? To listen and talk on podcasts? What? Hey Becca, how you doing?
Right, and best believe just because we are talking for hours on podcasts, though, doesn't mean we're not listening to them as well. My listening time is insane.
Yeah. What X speed are you up to at right now on podcasts?
Okay, consistently 2.5.
2.5.
But then, depending on the person, like I can go up to 3 times for some people,
I can't even imagine. I'm still on 1. I just got to 1.5 like a year ago, and that to me, when I went from 1 to 1.5, was insane. I had to get used to it. I can't imagine doing 3x and retaining anything I just heard.
It's doable. Because let's see, I don't even, because I was gonna, let's see, we'll do us. If that's even, well, I'll find a random one. And then I'll do, let's go 3 times speed. And of course, you know how podcasts are. They just clock.
Mm-hmm.
But, dang, I was going to give you an example, but, and then if somebody's listening to us at 3 times speed, then this going to sound like 6 times speed.
Yeah. I like that she plays N64 all the time. I can get down with that. And listen to podcasts. She seems like a cool lady.
Yeah, she seems fun. Like, I don't think but maybe that says something about us.
Yeah. Her interests align with ours, so she seems cool.
Yeah, maybe we're not normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is not coming up. So I won't get to show you an example of 3 times speed. But
if you're listening to this podcast right now, put your podcast player on 3x and see if you.
If you're listening on Overcast, you could definitely do 3x. If you're listening on YouTube, if you have like a speed control on your browser, you can go up. My speed control goes up to 1600%.
I only go 2x on Apple Podcasts. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts only goes up to 2, but so that's why I downloaded Overcast, so I can go up to 3.
So you can squeeze more podcasts into your day. Right. You and Becca get along great.
Right. So she says nothing in her life has gone to plan. She had an autoimmune disorder that affects her spine, so she's like in chronic pain. She just recently had an abdominal surgery that turned into endometriosis. And so she just like she feels like she doesn't want to be a burden to her future spouse. And that's kind of how she's feeling about, that diagnosis. But she is very excited to have another human to like go and do all these adventures with and have fun.
Yeah. I feel for her really with the chronic pain thing, and I can imagine if you are suffering with something like that, you you may feel that you be putting one of your loved ones in a burden situation because you are probably complaining about pain all the time. You probably have days where you probably can't even like get off the couch or out of the bed and someone has to take care of you. I can imagine how that feels to put that on someone. So I hope they can find someone that's compassionate. Hopefully our guy Austin is compassionate, down with taking care of his loved one.
Yeah, and I mean, breaking the fourth wall. Those words ate me up. I couldn't even
what words?
Autoimmune disorder.
Oh yeah, though you did not do well with
abdominal surgery, endometriosis.
You did not do well with that. You're not a doctor.
Yes, I can
You will
admit
not
I
be a
am
doctor
not.
anytime soon.
Yes. So Dr. Pia gave us the rundown. And when she popped up, my brother, he said, "Wait, who was that?" I said, "Remember 2 seasons ago they had that like activity on the roof." He said, "Oh yeah." He said, "She full time now?"
Yeah, she got the job. Devon Franklin has not been heard from. We don't know if he's going to show up on this season. He might have been fired. Dr. Pia got the job, but listen, I think they made the right
Yes.
choice. Ooh, did they make the right choice? Dr. Pia. Whoa. That's all I'll say about that.
Oh my
Dr.
goodness.
Pia. God,
ridiculous. But yes, I'm so glad we didn't even mention that up top. I'm so glad to have Dr. Pia as an official expert this season. I think she's going to be a great value add.
Yes.
I hope the experts come in more.
So glad she's going to be more on my TV. I'm so happy because her analysis is so great and what she has to say is so fantastic. Of course,
great therapist.
That's the only reason. She's so great.
Expertise.
No, but real talk. I have always enjoyed what she has to say to the couples, and I think she's going to be our person that, like Dr. Viviana before her, is able to keep it real and able to kind of deliver it in that way. Whereas Dr. Pepper kind of, especially in the recent past, operates with a soft touch. I think Pia can come in and be more that hard presence for them. Like, which is
I'm telling you, from the moment Dr. Viviana left, I missed Dr. Viviana. I feel like Dr. Pia fills the void. I feel like she'll be able to give us what we were missing.
Listen, Dr. Viviana and Dr. P want to be on the show. I'm not going to be mad about it. Okay. I'll be fine.
What happened to the days where there were 5 experts?
Yeah, bring them back. Bring them all back.
So Dr. Pia does say with this couple that she's going to bring out the fun side of him. He has a lot of emotional intelligence, and he's just an all-around good soul. I was like, ask his mom.
Mom hates his ass.
So, really so we didn't even get wedding or dress shopping with them. And then at the bachelor and bachelorette parties, Becca, she didn't like the strippers, but she does appreciate all sex workers. And Austin, he says he's sex worker positive, but he's not really, he wants no part of the strippers. I said, they got the same mindset.
He was repelling the strippers. He's like, nope, get away from me. He tried to put his coat on one of the strippers. I was like, okay, Austin, calm down.
They literally said the same thing. Like, how are they both talking about sex workers?
I don't know. It's a thing to say now.
Yeah.
All right.
When people who do like pole dancing, that's so like, it's not the same lane anymore. Like, I feel like pole dancing is like a recreational activity now.
Oh, I mean, well, these people were doing way more than pole dancing. Way more.
True. Yeah.
This bachelor and bachelorette parties were wild, especially the bachelor party. These ladies,
I was like, somebody's nose was in somebody's.
But this person might as well not have been wearing underwear. Like, you could see everything. I was like, yes, okay, that's a lot. Let's chill out. And right up under what's his name? Cameron's nose. I was like, oh my God.
Oh yes, that's who it was. Yes, like, Cameron.
I can smell the picture, and I don't.
Oh no,
it was not.
Yeah. Good. So let's see. Okay, so we'll bring him back up. So with Austin and Becca, on the count of 3, we're gonna give our red light, our green light, or our yellow light. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, okay.
I think Austin's a dud. Like, I don't think that he's going to be exciting enough for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she wants someone that's going to be as gregarious and as, outgoing as she is, because she seems like this person that's exciting, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he's kind of a dud from what I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, I will say my major concern is his parents' concern.
He seems to really value what his parents think. And I think if his parents are continually down on it, it's going to infect his feeling about it as well.
And also to value, I think for him to value so much of what his parents think, I also think that is a sign to how close they are and how much
Mhm.
they actually do know that he is not ready for this.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be very interesting to see how he adapts with her. If he's quiet, shut off, and like that's never gonna work. But if he's like, wow, you actually do bring out a good side of me, then I could see it potentially working.
Do you see any parallels, in your other show that you talk about that you have so much fun without me, Love is
Mhm.
Blind? Do you get like a JP and Taylor vibe from them?
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So I hope that
That they're
Austin
gonna get
has no
together.
issues with makeup.
Well, yeah, oof. And they're just gonna get together, and there's gonna be no conversation. He's gonna be like just sitting there, like, cool, okay,
Yeah.
this
Oh
is fun.
gosh.
I
I
like
really
this.
hope not.
I
He has,
don't
I feel
see a
like he
lot
has
of.
potential for both. He has so much potential to be extremely boring, but he also has potential to be like, wow, I didn't expect him to like he may be open with her, quiet with the guys, but he says he has this need to be social, but I have seen it firsthand where I've had friends who are always showing up to the group activities but don't say a word. So
Are you talking about me?
I
Sounds like you're
met you
talking about
twice, remember?
me. Yeah.
No.
Um. And then on After Party, it's like pulling teeth to get him to say anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
I don't know.
didn't contribute to that at all. And so that's why I feel like with both of them, I don't know much about them.
Yeah, I feel like Becca is more outgoing, more gregarious, and he's not in that lane really. So I don't think
Yeah,
it's going.
which
I don't think
is
it's going to
okay.
work.
They don't have to both be outgoing, but there has to be that side of him. So
Mhm.
it's like if they can never balance out, that
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
Yep. So that's why I'm a red and you're a yellow.
Yep,
You
yep,
have
yep.
some hope at least.
Yeah, I have some. I mean, because I just feel like it can honestly go either way. So
Yeah.
we'll
I mean,
see.
listen, we didn't see them together, so I at the
Hmm.
last minute changed from yellow to red because I was just like, yeah, I don't see it. My gut reaction is I don't see it, but we haven't seen them
Yeah.
together, so we can't really tell. If this was like, if I was being honest, I would say everyone's probably a yellow for me because I haven't seen anyone together yet.
Mm,
But just future casting, it might be a red.
mm-hmm. Okay. Which couple are we talking about next?
We are going to talk about Claire and Cameron. Like, I'm going to really try all this accent. I don't know if I can do it. I practice, and I was like, I just don't know. Cameron is. We have Cameron and Claire. Claire is 27 years old. She's a therapist. Cameron is 32 years old, and he is a bike shop owner. See, two occupations. I got those. I know exactly what those things are. They are plain and
He
clear.
owns a bike shop. She works with therapy.
Right. Clear. Love it. So we come in with Cameron. He's meeting with kind of his surrogate parents. Now, okay, so from what I can recall, we have at least 3 people that I know of that are transplants to Colorado in this season. We talked about this. We talked about this in other seasons, but can we get some homegrown people here? It feels really weird when we have transplants for the whole season.
You know what I think it is? A lot of people that have moved to these new cities are single. And I think a lot of people who stay, they're probably in relationships.
Yeah. I guess so. It's weird. It's not great. I wish we could have gotten people that their families are here. We get to meet more of the family. We get to interact with more of the family throughout the season. We've had seasons where family plays a big part in the
Mm-hmm.
season, But I feel like we get that less and less now because we get into these big metropolitan areas where there are so many transplants. But
Well,
it is
because
what it
that
is.
could be what I look. Born and raised here, I've seen it all. Who are you going to marry me at first sight? Who I don't know who they are. I can see that mindset.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. But yeah, Cameron is meeting with his surrogate parents here in Colorado because his parents, don't live in the country. So he is kind of adopted these family friends as his stand-in parents. So he meets with them. They, they have a nice dinner. He tells them, hey, get ready for a sight. And it's kind of a mixed reaction, I think. Much like Austin's mom. Cameron's stay-at-home mom was like, "Oh, I don't know about this. Like, you're pretty picky." She says about 5 times, like, "Oh, he's pretty picky, so I don't know how this is gonna work."
Yeah, and they seem to know him well. Like they were, the make sure you don't do this, make sure you don't do that.
Yep.
So it was make sure you hold back on sharing your opinion. It felt like they knew him really well.
For sure. They try to give him ways to avoid the landmines.
Yeah.
He tells us he's always wanted a wife and a family, but his fear of failure has really affected him in the past. He was a very fearful child, and it took him a lot of time to conquer his fears. But once he did, he got into more adventurous things like mountain biking, roller coasters. He also tells us, his parents got divorced at 13, and he ended up, spending most of his time with his dad, who was a traveling salesman. So he was with his dad, but not really with his dad because he spent a lot of time alone in the house. He wants that feeling that someone has his back no matter what. He also, and family is very important to him in this stage because he doesn't have family here, so he wants to make a family in America. Because he's the only one kind of here other than his surrogate parents. His stand-in mom had to tell him, listen, don't be so picky, be more patient, don't give him your opinion. Apparently he has run into a lot of trouble with that. So yeah, that was Cameron. Cameron is fine. We don't really get much more from Cameron after this. We don't really get these standout moments at the bachelor party. So he's all right.
Besides the cheeks.
The cheeks
in his face.
Oh, yes. He's an all right bugger. He's all right, mate. He's from New Zealand, don't you know?
It's
more
when you started so well earlier, but that was too strong. That's not where he's at.
Yeah, that was, he's very calm and very, very quiet.
Okay,
it's going.
You just got to hear him more.
Yeah, I got to hear him more. I got to work on it. But we then meet Claire. Like I said, 27, therapist. She meets with her family, and her family is very, they're very supportive. Like, oh my God, we're so happy for you. She's got pretty much all of her family there. She got her mom there. She got a bunch of sisters there. She says. Yeah, she tells us, she's a therapist and helping people makes her feel good because it brings her a sense of fulfillment. She then tells us that she is a quadruplet, but one of the quadruplets is missing because her brother passed away, and he unfortunately took his own life. So it's just the 3 of them out of that quadruplet now. And the fact that her brother took his own life is why she's so passionate about mental health. She always felt like she could have done more for her brother. So it really helped her shape her purpose in focusing on the mental health field. She has focused a lot on herself and her goals, and that has gotten in the way of relationships in the past, but she now has a strong sense of herself. So she is ready for marriage. She chose this because she thinks the experts are doing she thinks the experts are doing a good job at finding committed people. What show are you watching, Claire? What show are you watching?
She's like, this is season 17. I'm sure, to make it to season 17, they have to be doing a great job.
Don't make assumptions, Claire. That's not what's happening. She says that she wants a man that will help her be more spontaneous. Someone that she can see the world with and make a family. She tells her family, this really feels right. She hopes it's and mom tells her, I hope this is the right person. I hope that you guys share the same faith structure. That stands out to me. When she says that, I said, okay, be on the lookout for that. Because I don't think they would have kept it in there if it does not make an appearance later.
Right. And faith structure is a very interesting way to phrase it. Yeah.
That tells us, number one, that Claire's faith is very important to her. So
Mm-hmm.
pairing her up possibly with someone that doesn't have that same dedication of faith might be a problem. Now we don't
Yeah.
really get an indication of what Cameron's faith is, but that's something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
She really wants someone that's goofy and that doesn't take life too seriously, but also someone that is kind, empathetic, smart, warm, and hardworking. So you want everything? Okay, great. Who doesn't? But so we get the lowdown from the experts. The experts match them because they are both educated and have overcome challenges, as well as they both foster empathy and understanding, caring and adventurous, and so they think their two spirits can create a good balance. It's all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Claire's kind of the same as Cameron. We don't really get anything memorable from her, from what I can remember. Do you remember anything super memorable from Claire at all?
No, I was telling you pre-show she's the quadruplet.
Yeah, but I mean,
That was my main takeaway.
listen, thank goodness for Becca having pink hair, because I was gonna get Becca and Claire confused if not.
I mean, yeah. Well, see, because I was getting, yeah. You're right, Becca and Claire. Okay,
Yeah. So
Claire. How can we remember that? Becca, pink hair. Becca, not blonde. No, I think we'll get it down. It's just the first episode.
I mean, I have it. I have it. You don't have it.
We'll get it.
I have
We'll
it
get it.
Yeah, we'll get it. Don't worry,
We'll
guys.
work on
We
it.
will get it. Yeah, we'll work on it because we both had the same issue. Okay, so Cameron and Claire, let's do our colors. Are you ready?
All
I'll
right.
count you down.
Well, let me see. Let me pull them back up.
Okay.
And let me get my color. So this is Cameron and Claire. Okay.
So we will reveal in 1, 2, 3. Reveal. Okay, green. Why are you green?
So I think so for one, I don't find anything alarming about either one of them. I think they're both pretty, they don't have these humongous personalities. I don't think they'll be offensive to each other. I don't think it's like, oh, this one thing about her, he's going to probably find like, oh my gosh, like she doesn't have a personality that she's too much. He seems very mild-natured and easygoing. I just feel like they're both the kind of people that can make it work with so many types of people, because not that they're agreeable, but that they are easygoing. And I think that they're going to find it easy to be with each other, which is why I feel like it could work. I don't even see anything that would make me go yellow.
Well, see, that's my problem. I don't see anything that'll make it work or not work. That's why I'm in the middle. I feel nothing from these two. I get no bearing. There's a high possibility that this can be our boring couple of the year, of the season.
Right.
They just go through the 8 weeks happily in bliss, and they have no issues. There's definitely that variance there, and there's also the variance of like they're just kind of like, you're okay, but not really husband material. So I don't know. That's why I had them at yellow, because I really don't get a good read on either of them to feel one way or the other this is really going to work or not work.
I can see that.
Where are they getting married, by the way? Can you pull that picture back up real quick?
Yeah, right.
They just look like they're in a random neighborhood. What's going on?
Well, and then there's the chandelier.
There's just a regular house back there. They're like in a driveway. There's a regular house behind them.
And the chandelier behind them.
Where'd that chandelier come from? Is it on the tree? What is happening in this picture?
Let me see if I could. Well, no, that doesn't really help. But
what is happening?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
That's odd. That's bizarre. Yeah. So that's Karen and Claire, y'all. I don't know what to say about them, because they really didn't give us anything.
Yeah, just fine. I think they'll be easy. I think it'll be unless it's the faith thing that that she might have a hard time with if they aren't on the same page there. That could be the only thing. Otherwise, I don't see any reason for them not to just be the boring couple. And I thought her dog Lenny was very adorable.
We didn't see a lot of dogs. How do you feel about that?
I mean, we still have to make it to the homes. But we did get Lenny, and then there was one early on. I don't know if it was Michael or a different couple, but there
Someone
was
have a
another.
cat?
There's one other dog. Maybe. I do remember in the matchmaking special, there was that one guy who had a few cats.
The black guy,
One
they were
just had
like,
yeah.
the one black
the
guy talked to you
one
like,
they said
I know we need black guys, but
they were like, we like Lauren, but we don't want you for her.
yeah, you're not gonna make it, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know that you thought you were shooing because you were like our only black guy we're talking to, but you're weird, like, or something was wrong with it.
Yeah, he was an interesting character to say the least. But yes, let's go to our last couple, which I am having an incredibly hard time finding them in my notes.
Do you remember their names?
I do. Their names are
You had to look at it. Yeah,
I got it. Emily and Brennan.
Brennan.
Okay, so we meet Emily and Brennan. He is 28 and she's 29, so only a slight difference. Or probably somebody hasn't reached a birthday or something. So she's Emily has the most interesting friends, and that is a very nice way to say it.
Ooh,
her friends, Emily's friends, and the other parents, Austin's parents.
Yeah.
They're up there.
Hating. The hating is strong. They drinking Haterade all day and night.
All day. Haterade mixed with Prosecco. They
tore her ass down behind her back. Oof.
Oof, my goodness. Emily. So Emily is cheersing to some news to share, which I was like, girl, spit it out. Because she was trying to tell the news before they even had their drinks. And then she was like, I'm cheersing to news I have to share. I was like, girl, spit it out.
I have something to say.
Right. And so she's telling them she is getting married in 2 weeks. And so we learn a little bit more about her. Okay. So she is an account executive at a tech company. She considers herself to be the life of the party. I said, okay, Virginia.
Yeah. She definitely has some Virginia vibes throughout this whole episode.
Yes, exactly. She says she needs someone to tone it down.
Oh, to tone her down.
To someone who can tone her down.
Which is akin to, I need someone to tell me when to stop, to hold me accountable.
Right.
Like, you all know how I feel about that.
I need somebody who can keep me in check.
Yes, there you go. Those are the words I could not find. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red. Hold on. Red flag, red flag, red flag. For this whole segment, I'm gonna just tell you,
red
right off the bat, it's red. The whole thing's red. It's all red. I'm gonna keep it up for the whole Emily and Brennan segment because everything about this couple is red. Okay, I'm gonna get it out the way. That's the first red flag. I'm gonna bring up the other ones as you break it down.
Here's the next red flag. We learn this woman, Emily, has been single her entire. She said, "I've been single for 30 years." This girl is 29.
You were single in the womb, girl. You what a loser. You were a single baby who didn't have a significant other when they were 2 months old. That's loser behavior. We all had significant other. We were babies, right? Emily.
I said, how you gonna tell us you've been single 30 years and you just told us you were 29?
I cannot believe that came out your mouth. I've been single for 30 years. How old are you? 60? No, I'm 29. What kind of goofy behavior is that, Emily? Come on.
She says she has never made it past a third date. It just always ends in ghosting, and she just doesn't know why.
Red alert.
Emily, you
should not have applied for this show, Emily. Why are you here? You have more work to do before you find a stranger to marry.
Yes.
Stop it, Emily. Stop.
You reach a point. If this is the same behavior that keeps happening, you start saying, okay, I know you ghost me, but hey, I'm reaching out because why is this happening?
Take some exit surveys.
Yeah.
How do you just text it? You don't even have to call them. Just text it to them. Hope they answer back. What was your level of satisfaction with this relationship on a scale of 1 to 5? If you had to give any constructive criticism, what would you give to this relationship? Not relationship. Sorry, it's not a relationship. She hasn't been in any relationships. What did you think about this? I don't know.
Yeah, why
Three-night
couldn't we
stand,
make
whatever
it
this
to
was.
yes? Why did you stop? Like, yes, because you just have to know at this point if it's the same behavior. You want to know. I mean, I know ghosting is such a thing, and it happens, right? But if it's consistent, okay, let's start getting some answers. So she says her parents gave her a lot of hope in their relationship because they've been together a long time. Her friend, I didn't even catch her name.
I think her name was Lily.
Okay, so Lily is in a confessional. She goes, Emily needs to focus. She needs to focus on focusing about other people, about what other people want. Because right now she is way too focused on herself. Basically,
she's selfish.
Emily is selfish and just not, and I don't know, and I don't think that she knows how to not be.
Talking ish on her friend behind her back in a confessional. And then, not to jump too far ahead, but I'm gonna jump ahead. And to find out later that this friend that's throwing shade is the maid of honor. Oh my gosh, girl. Oof.
Oh, yes. And I was just like, you are a reflection of the people, the circle you keep, right? The company you keep. So it's like, okay, maybe Emily is that type of friend to them too. It felt very consistent, especially at the wedding dress shopping. So we switch over to Brennan. He's telling his friends. He asked his friends, have y'all heard of the show Married at First Sight?
I mean, kind of in passing, just a little bit. I haven't watched every season or anything.
I'm not a super fan.
Yeah. I don't know that Pastor Cal joined the show in season 2. I don't know that.
I heard Dr. P is coming back this season as a full-time expert.
Really hope they don't bring Devon back, but that's all I know about the show. I don't know much.
Right. I just listened to A Perfect Match.
Heard Beth and Jamie broke up, but other than that, I don't know anything.
I heard Woody and Amani just had about to have their second kid.
Brown and Vinny, Champagne Vinny, had their kid. But other than that, that's all I know.
Right. Katina.
They keep bluffing. They keep bluffing on social media. They keep bluffing on social media, going on vacations. But that's all I know. I don't know anything else about it.
Stasha makes good Instagram videos. That's all I know.
That's all I know.
Nothing else.
No idea. Kristen keeps moving from New York to Florida and back and forth. But that's all I know. That's it. That's nothing else.
So speaking of New York.
Steve and Mindy, they're like a thing now. Do you know that? That's all I know. That's it. That's all.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I heard Keisha Knight Pulliam's going to be doing polls during commercials for next season.
They want us to think the show is live, but we know better than that. They keep taking guest questions on after party like the show's live, but we know better. We know better. But that's all I know.
Nothing else. Oh gosh. So Brennan's personality is that he's from New York. He said he knows how to speak up. He's like,
I'm from New York.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here.
I'm like, if you're from New
I
York,
love pizza. Hey. I had some great pizza in New York, by the way.
I did too.
Well, the first time we were in New York, I didn't have good pizza. Second time, I was like, all right, I found
this time. The best pizza I had was in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So, so he says his parents don't really know how to communicate that well. They fought a lot when he was growing up, and he's looking for someone to have the same ambitions with. And his friends tell him he just has to be vulnerable. Like, okay.
He was like, my parents, they fought a lot. It was toxic. It was bad. It's like, oh, another person coming from, a divorced family. His parents are toxic, but they're still together, which is gonna inform a lot of his opinions and a lot of his perspective that we're gonna find out a little later.
Yes. So Pastor Cal tells us about this couple. He's like, they're ambitious with successful careers. They have strong values, and we're confident that she's ready to be a supportive partner. Be a supportive partner that she has always longed for. And his friends are just very nervous for him. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So don't really know much about him at this point. They look okay together. They look happy. But we head on over to the wedding dress shopping and suit shopping. Mm-hmm. And so this is the wedding dress she settled on. She was trying to go for classic, elegant, but sexy.
With feathers.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Wait,
I don't see no feathers on this dress. What happened?
Right. I was very confused by that. She doesn't want anything too conservative. She wants a little boob action. And she's in there getting dressed, trying on wedding dresses. She has like her friends and her sister there. She's not coming out and showing them any of them. Like she's putting them on, doesn't really like it, changing. You're like, dang, she's taking a long time. Like it usually doesn't take this long. When she does finally come out, she's all flustered, right? And she's like, they're like, do you feel rushed? And she's like, well, yeah, I'm trying to pick a dress. And they're like, no, well, do you feel rushed with this process? Like, you look nervous. She's like, well, no, I'm just like, I'm sweating. And they're like, I feel like you're avoiding the question.
She's like, what? No, I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm all good. I'm not having a panic attack at all. I'm good. I'm great.
Right.
Fantastic.
And so this one that she has finally put on and felt okay enough to bring out to show them, Lily goes, why don't you go put on another one? That's not the one.
It's not your style.
Yeah.
Lily.
I was like, and then she goes in there, and then Lily goes, she always puts on a front like she's stronger than she is.
I hate her. Like, you might as well have said that. Like, I hate her ass. Why I even hate?
She might as well, because what? This was not supportive energy. This was not, hey, I'm helping you get there. I'm there for you, girl. I want to help you pick the day, the dress for your special day. This was, why am I here? Why am I here?
Why did I agree to this?
Yeah.
I don't even like this girl.
Yeah. She finally finds one she likes. She starts crying. She's emotional. They start crying. They're like, okay, we're happy for you, right? So it seems okay. Then we go to suit shopping. He just wants to make a good impression. He ends up picking black. Was it black?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't
okay, it is black. Yeah,
I don't know if I took any notes from Brennan shoe shopping because it was.
Yeah, no, he just hoped. He said he just hopes for a beautiful smile and someone who feels warm. Even at the bachelorette and bachelor parties,
Brendan was living it up. Brendan was all in the strippers. He was
okay. See, I didn't have any notes, but I think I was also trying to figure out. Okay, Brennan, Austin. I do remember Austin was.
Yeah, Austin was very repellent.
Not taking part. So Brennan was embracing it all.
Yeah, from what I could remember, everyone was pretty much, in the bachelor party besides Austin. Everyone else was having a good time, was enjoying the strippers, but nothing over the top in the bachelor party besides the Orion girth certificate thing.
Yeah. Well, we're at the bachelorette party. Oof. Lauren says that Emily is a party girl in a party world. Shout out to the Barbie movie that came out this year. She said this before the Barbie movie came out. So that was recent on her mind.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I'll miss it.
And so Emily, she put her feet up on the wall. She was trying to twerk. And that's when I saw the other bride the faceless bride. Emily said she loves to drink, and so do her friends. She's over in the corner trying to. She went over to the bar trying to put her feet up on the bar to twerk some more, but couldn't quite stick the landing. So it was a lot, and she was clearly very inebriated.
There's a lot of blurring going on as she tried to do whatever she's trying to do on the bar.
Yes,
she was showing everybody her goods. She is a mess and a half.
And isn't it her on After Party who said that they went out to a strip club after?
Yeah, she got on.
Yeah.
She tried to get on the pole. They told her to get
Mhm.
off of the stage. This is not her strip club. She's also the one that showed up with a what you call it, with a cast on her arm.
Yes.
And Rudy's like, "What happened to your arm?" And she was evasive and wouldn't answer it. It's like, what is wrong with you, girl?
It got a little boo boo.
Yeah, just a
Don't
little
know.
boo boo. Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
Yeah. So these two were actually the first wedding. We actually got a wedding this episode, a full wedding. Usually we get the like walkout and maybe like the initial hellos, but this one we got a full wedding. So, you know, not the reception, but we at least got to see them meet and say I do. So, we get our little like the lead up to them actually walking down the aisle. And the main takeaway from this is like he's doing this once. He said that a million times. I am doing this once.
He is getting married one time and one time only. There is no such thing as divorce. Red alert, red alert, red alert. This never works. We see this said many times. There's no such thing for divorce for me. Those are usually people where it crashes and burns the hardest.
Exactly.
And it feels like he said this so seriously and so many times. I'm concerned. He's like, there is no divorce. The only way this ends is death. Like that's the only way
out is in a box. Yeah.
Definitely giving like serial killer vibes. Like the only way you get out of this is if you die. Till death do us part. Because we're not getting divorced ever for anything. I was like, okay, relax, chill.
He said it so much that was just his personality leading up to this. That was it.
Yes.
And his parents being together for over 30 years. But with Emily, she has been acting like she's not nervous. She's like, even they were like, "Oh, are you nervous?" She's like, "Well, I guess I'll say I'm nervous since y'all want me to be nervous so bad." Cut to
Lily's,
her.
Lily's under her breath, like faking ass. She acting like she's not nervous. You know, she always front. I hate her so much. Damn. Why am I even here?
We cut to her, Emily, find in a confessional saying. A producer's like, okay, how's your life going to be different now? And she can't even answer the question because she's sweating. She has to walk off from the interview. She's like, everyone wants to see the nerves. Here they are. Why you mad?
So, okay. From the matchmaking episode, I said, okay, Emily seems cool. She seems fine. This episode was the spiral. By the end of this episode, I was like, okay, I see why. I see what the problem is. I get it. I understand.
It just escalated. Just like, good Lord.
I think it's possible we might have another Lindsay on our hands here. Is what I am envisioning for Emily here.
You know, I get less Lindsay though, more Lindy.
God, Asia, we are here with it because I was thinking the same thing. Until I got to the Lindsay, like we got the drinking in common with Lindsay, and I feel like Emily is going to say some out of pocket ish when the time comes, like Lindsay. But I did feel Lindy for a while because Lindy is like Lindy was inexperienced. Lindy did not have a lot of Well, she did. Lindy was married once, wasn't she?
No. But she like her like she was like sheltered basically.
Yeah, very sheltered. So that's what I felt for Emily as well. So yeah, I did say Lindy at a certain point, but then I was like, I think Lindsay might be a better comp for Emily.
Yeah. So we finally get to we finally get to the altar. She walks down the aisle. They're both smiling. He says she looks beautiful. We get from the officiant.
Well, before I want to go back to what's his name? Brennan's meeting with his parents. Because he meets his parents before he goes into the wedding, and so we see he introduces the parents before we see the parents. He's like, "Yeah, my parents are very strict. They're very standoffish about this. They are unsure about this." He says, they're Russian, so they're not sure about marrying an American girl. It's like I don't remember his parents being Russian. I don't remember that part about them because I know we saw them earlier in the episode, right? So yeah, I don't remember them being Russian. I don't remember that being a characteristic. And then his parents come out. I'm like, those aren't his parents. I remember his parents. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I got Austin and Brennan mixed up, didn't I? Uh-oh. So that's going to be a problem this season for me. I think probably for a
It's
lot of
early.
people.
Give yourself some time.
Yeah, but Austin and Brennan look too much alike for me because I'm going to be getting them mixed up. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the same guy that had the disapproving
Just think
parents
about
earlier.
it. Every time we see Austin, he'll have on a hat.
Yeah, he have on the backwards hat.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, I forgot to talk about Austin's picture. The picture with him and Becca. I don't know who chooses to wear a 5 o'clock shadow on your face to your wedding, but look at this. What is this, sir? You either go full beard or you shave it all. Like,
is that how they do it in New York?
In New York, I'm a New Yorker. We wear 5 o'clock shadows. What do you want from me? But yeah, that was. I just had to call that out because I forgot to say something when they were up there. But look at that. That's crazy. But back to Brennan. Okay, not to take the spotlight away from Brennan, but you can tell that he is so into what his parents think. He is so worried about it. Maybe that's why I get him confused with Austin, because they have the same type of attitude about their parents. They really want to please their parents because his dad's like. His mom has tried to go around to it, but she is like, oh yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Dad's like, yeah, I don't. Dad's like, I ain't feeling this. Like this ain't gonna work for you, buddy. Like,
he almost didn't say a word.
He almost didn't say nothing.
There looking.
Brennan's like, oh, I know that look. And mom was like, yeah, that's the proud look. And dad's like, dad treats mom look like, this ain't no problem. This is dumb. And I don't know why I agreed to come here and be on this TV show with him.
Right. So we get to the officiant sharing about her family. It's like her family wants you to know she's fearless, independent, driven. She's a carnivore. There will never be a dull moment. She can talk for hours. She's the life of the party. Sometimes she doesn't notice she's talking to herself. His family wants her to know that he's hardworking. He's his true inner New Yorker will come to the surface. He loves talking.
I love pizza.
So they both love talking. He'll grab the bill and read every line by line to make sure they're not overcharged.
AKA
like, oh, good.
Cheap.
That's what I need.
AKA he cheap.
We get to the vows. Her vows, she puts it on the table. She does not decide to hold it back. She says this is her first time. There's going to be a lot of firsts. This is her first time being in a relationship. It's her first time being in love, hopefully.
His face is like, oh.
Okay.
For real?
That's a lot.
All right.
This is the first time taking a chance and a risk of a lifetime, and she's in it for the long run. His vows, he's excited. He promised to always listen. He promised to be spontaneous as often as possible. Random fast food trips on a weeknight. And he can't wait for a lifetime full of firsts like this. It was like they both talked about first. There's that. They had that pre-written. And then they both say, I do. So we know how you feel.
A nice little kiss there at the end. I was like, okay, y'all had a nice kiss. No awkward cheek kissing, no hugs. It's a nice little kiss. All right. Yeah, we got my reaction.
Yours is up there. Jason is a red. So I will agree. I am also a red. I don't think that they will work out. I think that it's not a great idea for your first relationship, like to figure out how to be in a relationship married. I feel like that's going to be the biggest cause of concern. Yep. And then, I mean, we also have to deal with compatibility. I don't know about that. We got to deal with some these friends. You know they're going to have stuff to say about him.
I feel like Brennan wants a cookie cutter wife. And I don't feel like she is that at all. In any way or shape.
So we may get a lot of similarities to Eric and Virginia.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, we know Virginia liked her booze, and Emily likes her booze as well. So yeah, I don't see this working in any way, shape, or form. But I mean, listen, apparently she can do whatever to him. She doesn't matter if she cusses him out. It doesn't matter if she, stabs him or something. He's gonna stay in this. Doesn't matter if she steals all his money. They are never getting divorced. And to say that, is like, we're never getting divorced. Like, okay, you don't really have the whole say in that, sir. Like, it takes two to tango. He's in a way taking that away from her. It's like, no, she can divorce you, so you can definitely get divorced. So
he's like, I'll never sign off on it.
I'll never. You will stay married forever. You will be on your deathbed away from me for 50 years, and we'll still be married. Yeah, I don't see this going well at all. So yeah, it's a wrap.
All right. We did it. We went through all the couples. We got our preview for next week where we're getting some more weddings. I really hope we get Lauren and Orion next week. I hope they don't try to save them for the following week.
I think the fact that we got the Lauren Orion dress and tux fitting tells us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And so we see that Michael ends up getting a letter from this mystery woman about apologizing. Yes. And so it'll be interesting to see how they explore that. Are they going to wait until the following episode to pick someone for him? Or are they going to go ahead and wrap that up at the reception and then say, hey, we found you someone? And so, yeah. And then Becca had a very interesting reaction to a gift she got. She was like, what is that?
I think that was Claire, actually. Becca, I think, was the one that got the perfume that is her perfume.
Yes. Becca
she
got
was shocked
perfume.
that he got her the perfume she usually gets. Claire
that's
is the one
what
that's
I
like,
meant.
what the hell did he? Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. You know what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, even with the matchmaking special, I just feel like usually I have them down by now. Usually they just have such distinct characteristics that it's like, we know, but I guess it also, I think it's a testament to the city. Yeah.
A lot of typical Coloradans here. Although they're not all from Colorado. I think. I think I at this moment have a personality problem with all these people. I don't get a good read on probably half of this cast, so that's an issue. But yeah, I hope to get more from Michael. I feel like Michael is unique, very unique, but I don't think I have the full scope of his uniqueness yet.
Right, exactly. So it'll be very. I'm more up on this season than I thought I would be. When we saw the cast at first.
I came into this podcast not high on it, but the more that we talked about this podcast, I think we'll have some fun with this season. I think.
Yeah, I got a taste of it by watching it with my brother. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun to podcast about.
Yeah.
So yes, thank y'all so much for sticking with us as we recap the premiere. Like I said, we'll be back every week to talk about each episode. If like I said, they usually drop Thursday nights, Friday mornings. If there is ever a delay, we will inform our Facebook group. And if you're not in there, just subscribe to our Love at First Sight feed and you'll be there to see whenever the episode drops. We can guarantee it will be on a weekly basis. So yeah, Jason, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JAYR1085. As far as other podcasting ventures go, I am on Post Your Recaps talking Loki at the moment with Sasha Joseph. I was also recently on the 90 Day Fiance RHAPup with Puya talking about 90 Day Fiance the other way. So if you're into that show as well, come check me out there with Puya. Coming up, I got some other things in the work for Post Your Recaps, but I'll talk about those closer to when they come out. Other than that, that's it. Aysha, how about you?
Yeah, so y'all can find me at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA. Right now, you can catch me here every week talking about Married at First Sight. Anything else I'm up to, I will post about it.
Well, you just finished up Love is Blind, right?
We did just finish up Love is Blind. We did talk about the finale and reunion. So Mary and I were joined by Mari Forrest. So we had a great time talking about that. You can also find that on the Love at First Sight feed. But yeah, if you give me a follow, you can see what I'm up to. So that's Aysha like Aysha. Thank y'all so much for sticking with us. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you're on YouTube, you got all the visual elements. If not, you just enjoyed our voices, hopefully. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review on the Love at First Sight feed, wherever you get your podcast. And then also go join the Facebook group at Perfect Match Podcast, where the password is
Girth Certificate.
Yes. So thank you all so much for listening, and we will see y'all next week. Bye.